And hello, everyone. This is Daniel with the Legacy of Daniel podcast. I got something I want to talk about in today's economy and behavior show. Um, the show talks about the economy, financial news, and how it all really revolves around human behavior, consequences, action. And today we're going to kind of talk about this constant fear mongering of there's always a problem, always a financial crisis ahead of us, and which, for the most part, they're probably right for the most part that there always is some sort of situation that is waiting, and generally it just needs to be solved by competent individuals. And generally, for the most part, most problems I would have to say are solved. And yes, we do have our crashes, but for the most part, the world keeps on turning, world keeps on moving. I think one of the reasons why these financial cliffs or depressions, 1929 all over again, are obviously it's just a lot of clickbait. It draws in attention. It feeds off of individuals' fear, which then leads people to begin making, irrational decisions, thinking irrationally, thinking based upon fear, what possibly could happen. And it kind of removes individuals from reality, their reality. And so when things like this start to happening in the news, it's really important to remain based in your reality. And now, if you're an individual that living outside their means and constantly needs the materialistic world, needs materialistic success, a nice car, a nice house, needs to be out shopping expensively, then you're gonna always gonna have a financial problem. People who have financial problems generally always have financial problems, probably always have a spending issue, and that's just their behavior. But for the most part, I would have to think that majority of people are living, at least attempting to live within their means, which is not easy to this day because society has made a lot of shifts that are forcing many individuals to make decisions that are hard to make, they may not want to make, or probably not best for them. Um, our society revolves around the automobile, so just about everyone needs a car to get to a job, and so that's already a barrier to not only um, getting a job or moving up in society, but it's also a barrier to a financial barrier because now it's something you have to pay for that you're kind of being drawn into purchasing and buying just to get a job. And so it's hard making decisions, hard finding jobs where you can like walk to, bike to, which I've done. I've did my I always done my best to walk or bike to work, and that's not easy to do. I've even biked to school when I could. I've always tried to avoid the use of an automobile. I've never purchased a vehicle. I've had a couple loaned to me. I'm very thankful for that. It got me through to college and also helped me to find a job. But ultimately, I kind of used it to build a life and start thinking of a life where I didn't need an automobile so that I could use that money towards saving, or not even just saving, but begin cultivating the ideas of a life that doesn't revolve around a car payment, that trap of a car and tires, oil changes, and useless and vain driving around on all this concrete that seems to just lead us to nowhere. That's nothing, not saying that the automobile is horrible, but it just has become, uh, our society has just really abused the automobile, and we've taken it far beyond what it was really supposed to help us do. Um, so when you start seeing all these financial fears, financial crash coming, it's really important that it's all just based on driving fear into the hearts of those who are just weak-minded, those who are not based in reality, which is unfortunately a lot of people since The divorce rate is at one point 50% and might be still hovering around 50%. And when young adults don't have that foundation, they're swayed so easily by fear and clickbait and all this other crap that's just floating around, just this chaos that just fills the minds and bodies of people that are just vulnerable. And it's really unfortunate because, the more they scream, the more that there's fear that there's a crash coming, this is coming, danger ahead. They're generally going to be right at some point. But it doesn't mean that that's going to be a depression. It just means, like the recent banking crisis. But society keeps on moving. And so the key is to really ignoring all this fears is the fact that, you know, it doesn't take much, especially in this modern world, to survive and get to the next day. Um, I mean, if you buy an expensive house, you might be in trouble. You may have to make decisions. Do I choose the house payment or food? Do I downsize my house, sell and maybe get a smaller house, apartment? Do I not buy the expensive car, but maybe buy a used car just for now? And then um, we're so focused on the immediate gratification, pleasure principle, instead of thinking not only what's better for me in the long term, financially, health wise, but what's also better for my family, for society. And when you start thinking like that, I think it really put you on a different trajectory. It's not easy, but it could take 10, 15 years for you really to get to a place where you don't have to worry about financial issues you know that occur in society. That doesn't mean you can be reckless, but it generally requires a lot of sacrifice, a lot of work, um, and yes, saving, knowing how to invest your money, maybe starting a business or doing something. But ultimately, just avoid all the fear mongering. Are there issues ahead? Yeah, but generally it seems that um, society finds its way to keep on keeping on, and that is what we do. So don't allow any fear mongering. These financial crises they're coming, and it's going to wipe out the economy. It's going to wipe out this and that. And most of it's just all fear mongering, clickbait. Um, I personally am very bullish on the economy. I think we are entering a very, very profitable, prosperous era. It's just having a rough, rocky start. Um, but that's all for today's podcast. And stay in joy, stay away from the chaos, stay away from all the fear and clickbait, stay based in reality, and stay in sound money.